or scrap paper, just one speck of dust. I keep trying, and I keep buying you bubble wrap from Office Max, but I can't win your trust. Paper clips are scattered round your chair. Paste of toner powder in the air. Marjorie, you're climbing up the walls. All inbound lines are open, girl, but no one ever calls. All right.
Fuck.
That was great.
I'm ashamed being surrounded with talented people.
So
I
that's
actually figured.
canonically now what Pale Queen does in between the intermissions. So just
Ignoring
that kind of
toner.
thing. Okay, time to get back to work now. That was really good, though.
Amazing.
There we go.
All right. With that done and everyone's roles dished out, we can go ahead and begin. Chapter 1, The Princess and the Knight. I really need to make more progress. I can't get past Chapter 1.
Time loops do be like that.
Awaken, my knight. It is time for you to fulfill your purpose.
Where am I and how did I get it? What's in my pocket? I have a purpose? What is it? Am I a knight? But it doesn't feel like I'm a knight. Why can't I remember the past few days? My name, or anything? You have a pretty voice. Very pretty voice. Do we know each other? Oh, silently. Huh, there's a disembodied voice in my head. Okay.
Yes, I suppose that is technically true. But do not confuse me for a mere figment of your imagination. I am very much real, as is the current situation. And that situation is, unfortunately, dire. I have called you forth, Sir Knight, for you are my trusted agent, the only one capable of completing this vital mission. The princess of this kingdom, my own daughter, lies imprisoned in the dungeons of our castle. She will not stay held for long. If she is released, she will put an end to our entire world. It is up to you to stop her, my dear one. And I grant you the authority to judge her, and in my name, execute her.
Where am I and how did I get here?
This is a forest in our kingdom. You stand on the path leading to our castle. There in the dungeons, you will find the princess waiting. As for how you got here, you walked, I assume.
What's in my pocket?
Your
Oh,
pockets? What
no.
are you talking about?
Just this crumpled thing in my pocket. Did you put it there?
I did not.
Oh, are we reading those?
I think it would be a bit more clear personally, but I'm fine if you want to just be silent on the choice things. Either way.
I'll read them. Check your pocket.
You pull out a piece of paper from your pocket and unfold it.
Aw. Who gave this to me? Good luck with what? Am I a dad?
Yes, you are indeed a dad, sir, and a very good one at that.
Who gave this to me?
Obviously a baby. Someone who loves you very much and is in no doubt counting on you.
Good luck with what?
With your mission, whoever gave you that letter trusts in your ability to carry it out. As do I.
Put the paper back.
It was a very sweet gift, and hopefully it has reminded you why your mission is so important, my dear knight.
I'm a knight, but I don't feel like a knight.
Nevertheless, you are, Sir Knight.
Why can't I remember anything the past few days? Or my name, or anything?
Your loss of memory was, unfortunately, a necessary part of your mission. In time, you will understand.
You have a very pretty voice.
Hehe. Thank you. But let us not get distracted. You have a very important mission to perform.
Do we know each other?
Naturally, though you would have forgotten.
I don't know. It feels kind of weird doing this. I'd rather stay at home. But I feel so tired. I don't really want to wake up. Can't someone else do this instead? Gosh, I'm really lacking the motivation to do anything. Is this normal for me? I don't really feel like delving into politics. I'm just gonna recuse myself of the situation. I don't feel like doing this, but I guess I got nothing better to do. I'm really not in the mood to execute anyone right now. Can't I do it later? What?
Sadly, we do not have time to wait. You must go forward, Sir Knight, or the consequences will be severe.
I don't know. It feels kind of weird to do this. I'd rather just stay at home.
Do you even know where you're going? Regardless, you won't have a home to return to if you don't accomplish the mission.
I feel so tired. I really didn't want to wake up.
Yes. Sometimes we have to do things we don't feel like doing. While I cannot believe I am explaining this to a full-grown knight, I trust you will get it together soon enough.
Can't someone else do this instead?
You are the only one who can see this through, Sir Knight.
Gosh, I'm really lacking the motivation to do anything. Is this normal for me?
It's complicated. But know that there is a reason why I trust you and no one else to accomplish this work. You can do it. You just need to believe in yourself. Now enough stalling. We've idled long enough as is. It's time to continue.
Oh. I really don't like delving into politics. I'm just going to recuse myself from this situation. Do nothing.
You have already committed to completing your mission. I will not allow you to violate your oaths.
Or what? Silently go back to sleep.
Your eyes begin to close. Only to be immediately shocked back open as if someone slapped you in the face.
I guess I don't really feel like doing this, but I guess I got nothing else to do. Nothing better to do. shrug idly and wander down the path, whistling as you go.
Please tell me you're not going to be like this for the entire mission. You wake up. You right. You walk up the short path to the castle. Within, you will find the princess waiting. Before you continue on your journey, Sir Knight, I would offer you this advice. Be swift, be decisive. Whatever you may see, whatever you may hear, still your heart and see it through. I will remain by your side, always.
Something about this all feels really familiar, doesn't it? I don't know about you, but something tells me we really shouldn't execute the princess. At least, not until we learn the full story.
Hello once again, dear hero. It's good to hear from you.
Do we know each other?
Quite well, though you would have forgotten like our esteemed knight. Still, I'm very pleased to hear your voice once again. Well, are we ready to continue?
Proceed to the castle.
The interior of the castle is plain but familiar. Its firm stone walls indicate a strength that has withstood the test of time. At the far end of the great hall is a simple iron door leading to the dungeons downstairs. A heavy padlock loops around an iron bar, sealing the door shut. Hanging from the hook set in the stone is a key for entering the padlock and opening the door. Not far from the iron door is an elongated wooden table bearing several items of note. Resting atop a pewter tray is a meal fit for a prisoner. A wooden bowl filled with a mushy gray gruel. Included with the meal was a simple wooden spoon for eating a tasteless but nourishing substance. Considering today will be the princess's last day, and made time to give her one last meal before her execution. And again, considering the state of the food, it might be better to simply kill her rather than prolong her suffering. Next to the unappealing meal is a crystal vial filled with a pitch black substance. The skull adorning the crystal vial reveals the nature of the sinister liquid, poison. The noxious concoction is yours to employ in whatever creative way you desire. Then again, perhaps you prefer a different method of execution, a more direct approach. Most important of all these items is your weapon of choice, a familiar knife. It waits patiently upon the table, waiting for you to take it up once more. This weapon is your means of rendering final judgment, very power of life and death converging at its pointed tip. It is yours to take, along with any other item you feel will help you accomplish your task.
Take the blade.
You take the tray bearing the meal from the table.
Oh, we're,
There's still a little. Oh, you take your
we're
knife
here.
from. I'm, I'm really tired. You take your knife from the table. You know what you need to do.
Take the meal.
You take the tray bearing the meal from the table. There is still a little warmth coming from the bowl of gruel, but it will grow cold soon. Remember that you are ultimately here to execute the princess, not to take pity on her. Regardless of what you choose to do with this meal, that task must be accomplished.
It's a little difficult carrying the nail and the blade at the same time. You won't be able to use one without dropping the other. But I suppose it's good we're keeping our options open.
Enter the dungeon.
He marched towards the door before setting the tray with the nail aside to take the key from the hook and insert it into the padlock of the iron door. There is resistance, as if it has been many years since the lock has been used, but eventually it gives way. You shove aside the dusty iron bar, push against the door, which, after a little resistance, swings open with a heavy groan. You place the keys inside a pouch strapped to your arm before taking the tray and stepping inside. Feet slowly descending a stone staircase illuminated by a faint light coming from below. This place is cruel, but is a necessary part of our kingdom. After all, if we did nothing against those who threatened our realm, it would have long ago fallen into ruin. The stairway is silent, save for the distant clanking of chains and idle humming echoing through the empty corridor.
Continue down the stairs.
A word of caution. Serena, you are not the only one who can hear me and the voice inside your head. The princess herself will be privy to anything said within her mind.
Wait, she'll be able to hear me?
As surely as I can hear you, but do not fear. I am only telling you this so you may be prepared. She will try to manipulate you any way she can. Do not listen to her or engage with her in any way. You already know what you have to do.
But what should I do? Like, just not speak? Oh gosh, I don't like that idea.
If you must speak, then consider yourself as another person in the room, one that the princess can hear but not see.
And what about you? Will you be still narrating things for us?
I will do my duty.
But what if she recognizes you? You said she was your daughter, and you were the one who locked her up, right? What happens if she knows you're with us?
I am uncertain if she will recognize me.
What do you mean?
It's complicated. Suffice to say, we shall find out together. Regardless, you know what you're to do, Serna. See that it's done. Now come. Your destined encounter with the princess awaits. I will be judicious with what I say, though I will continue to describe things as best I can.
Big
You
script.
make your way to the bottom of the steps. Yeah. Ahead of you is a narrow stone corridor, no windows. The place is pitch black, with the only source of light emanating from a small torch anchored to the wall on the other side of the room. Its flames seem to almost sit still, providing nothing more than a little glow. Standing next to the torch is the princess, leaning calmly against the wall with her hands clasped in front of her. Her wings casually stretched to cover a significant portion of the wall behind her. Before her wings can finish extending, you notice several large gash marks gouged into the stone where the anchor for her chains. The dim light reveals a faint glimmer of blood on her clothes before she hides them behind her dress. In spite of the injury, her expression is blank, as if she's completely unconcerned, merely curious to know what lies beyond the veil of dark. She barely reacts as you continue to approach, only speaking when you are just a few paces away.
I know you are there. What is your purpose?
My purpose? What do you mean?
You are an unknown variable, a stranger. Though it is not strictly impossible, I consider it unlikely that you stumbled down here through random chance, especially considering that you're the first visitor I have had since, well, actually, you're the first person I can remember coming down to visit me. Which means that there is most likely a reason you came down here. I wish to know what that reason is.
I haven't decided yet.
She pauses, considering your response, and as if in a direct reply to what I just described, her tufts twitch when she glances towards the ceiling.
Curious. It would appear that you are not the only unknown variable. Still, to avoid an unnecessary tangent, I will focus my attention on you for now. You say that you have not decided on a reason for this visit. Perhaps that is true. Perhaps it is not. Either way, I believe it would make sense for us to continue this discussion in a manner that would enable all parties to clearly discern one another. Please, step into the light, you and the rest of your companions, but not too close. I believe a measure of distance would be preferable for everyone involved.
She said companions. Plural. She already know us here.
I did not, but thank you for revealing yourself. You sound similar to the first speaker. Brothers, perhaps?
She mutters the last part to herself, poking her chin as she considers the highly sensitive information your voice foolishly handed out to her.
Oh, oops.
Why is the female speaker so frustrated? Is it mere annoyance at the stupidity of her companion?
Hey!
Which is her opinion of the other speaker, and not necessarily my own.
Uh, fair enough?
Or could it be that she feels she has lost a particular advantage? Either way, if the three of you are harboring any untoward intentions, then I would reconsider acting upon them. I am prepared to defend myself if necessary.
She lightly flexes her claws with these words.
You said yourself that we haven't decided what we want to do yet. Let's just step into the light and talk with her for a bit.
You are quickly losing what little advantage you have. Act now, before it's too late.
I'm not stepping into the light. If you want to talk, we can talk like this.
A disappointing but unsurprising response. Very well then. If you do not wish to reveal yourself to me, then I cannot force you. But please also keep in mind that I will speak no further words until you acquiesce to my request.
For someone threatening me to stop talking, you sure seem to have difficulty with shutting up.
The princess idly folds her arms, humming to herself.
A princess, you say? Interesting.
Eh,
Uh,
don't you say a word.
I wasn't going to. Though I respect that Miss highly sensitive information.
They're getting distracted. She's not going to speak to you, and there's no point in even trying to converse with her.
Oh? No point at all? Why the insistence that he not speak with me? What don't you want me to know? Very well then. My conditions still stand. If you truly do not wish to speak with me, then I must ask that you depart. But if you are interested in having a conversation, then please show a little good faith and allow me to speak with you face to face.
Just step into the light. You won't hurt anything.
You assume it won't. But what if it gives her all the advantage she needs?
There's no way just seeing us would give her an advantage, right?
Step into the light.
It's a sign this chapter. Heedless of my warnings, you take a cautious step into what little light is afforded from her tortured and muted glow. Before you can approach further, she holds up her hand.
That's close enough. We can continue our conversations like this.
Stay where you are.
Thank you for complying. Will your other companions be joining you?
I don't think they can.
Care to explain?
I don't know if I can.
Give it your best shot, at the least. You might as well. Even if you're trying to keep information from me, I'm good at piecing clues together. I'll figure it out.
I doubt you'd believe me.
Try me.
Okay, you asked. They're not strictly speaking physical. They're voices in my head.
She did not need to know that.
I don't see what the harm in letting her know.
There is the potential for immense harm. The less she knows, the better. I suppose there's no taking back what's been said. Quiet, the princess quietly considers what she has learned.
Interesting. As far-fetched as your claim is, judging by the reactions of your companions, which would be difficult to fake, I am inclined to accept that you, at least, believe what you said is true. Why I am able to hear what you think are voices in your head is another matter entirely, but one mystery at a time.
She carefully scans you. She carefully scans you, eyes noting the items you carry.
I will reiterate a previous question. You came down here with what appears to be a lunch tray bearing a food and a dagger. For what purpose did you come down here with those items?
Hold on a second. Aren't I supposed to be asking the questions? Why are you interrogating me?
She really has been continuing the conversation, hasn't she?
Yes, because you've been allowing her to. She smiles wryly at us, a faint look of amusement on her face.
Given our dynamic as what is effectively warden and prisoner, the fact that I have been leading with the questions is, admittedly, ironic. No offense, but judging by your appearance, I was expecting to have to deal with someone a little more, shall we say, brutish? It's honestly something of a relief to see that you are capable of engaging in semi-civilized conversation. It is a credit to your character, and one that I hope you do not betray, in spite of the insistence from that one voice. Still, I am not naive. You brought a knife with you for a reason. I doubt it's here to cut me a slice of bread to go with that bowl of gruel. And I don't see any butter or jam to go with the non-existent bread. So I'm left to assume that its purpose is to slice meat, if you know what I mean. Still, you did also bring me some food. Why? A case of charity, perhaps? Routine feeding of a prisoner?
She pauses, narrowing her eyes.
Or perhaps something more sinister? You must understand how confusing it is for me. In one hand, you offer mercy while gripping death in the other. A paradox. One which I wish to solve.
Honestly, I kind of get what she's coming from. I know it would be pretty wary of anyone approaching me with a knife.
I'd consider that a very reasonable reaction, yes.
Sir Knight, this is all a distraction. You pointed it out yourself. There is absolutely no reason why you should be answering her questions. Stop engaging with her and do what you were sent here to do.
And pray tell, what exactly would that be, Sir Knight?
I thought you might be hungry, which is why I brought you the meal. I thought it might be merciful to give you a final meal before I killed you. Look, you don't have to worry about the knife. That's just for self-defense. I guess I might as well say it. I brought the knife down here so I could kill you. I haven't decided whether or not I'll use the knife, but I will if I have to. I don't know, I just wanted to be prepared. I was just keeping my options open. That's none of your concern. I think it's time I asked you some questions. I don't actually want to hurt you. That's why I brought you something to eat.
How kind of you.
She doesn't actually believe you.
What an interesting claim. Do you profess to know the inner recesses of my heart? Or are you simply going to avoid engaging with me whatsoever? I will inquire about the other two later. I thank you, Sir Knight, if your intentions with the food are indeed genuine. Now, what about the knife?
I haven't decided whether or not I'll need to use the knife, but I will if I have to.
She nods, understanding.
Fair enough, I suppose. So, to summarize, according to you, you came down here unsure about your intentions. You brought down a meal because you are averse to violence and are instead inclined to help those you see as victims. In spite of this, you also brought down a knife because, to quote you, I haven't decided whether or not I will need to use the knife, but I will if I have to, implying that you possess the capacity for violence and will readily employ it in situations where you have to, whatever that means.
She taps her chin, considering.
Difficult to make any definitive conclusions. Perhaps your companions have more to say?
I've been answering your questions. I think it's time you answered a few of mine.
The princess shrinks.
Very well. You have been mostly compliant with my requests. I can accede to a few of your demands in return. What questions do you have for me?
What's your name?
She pauses before answering.
I find it difficult to believe that a prison warden would not know the name of his own prisoner. Or did nobody tell you who you would be executing?
Executing? Who said anything about executing?
Oh, right. My apologies. Did nobody tell you the identity of the one you would be non-committally visiting and endlessly debating what to do with?
Pale Queen told me you were her daughter.
The princess seems taken aback by the information so thoughtlessly given.
The Pale Queen said I was her daughter. It may be something of a logical leap, but am I correct in assuming the feminine voice I've been hearing belongs to this Pale Queen you mentioned?
Yes, she's the one who sent me here. What? Sorry. What? No, no. Why would you even think that? The Pale Queen is a voice that you've been hearing and are completely unrelated to each other.
You really have no concept of confidential information, do you?
She might as well know.
And why would that possibly be the case?
I don't know. Why keep it a secret?
A question you should have asked yourself before revealing the secret to me. The princess looks on, silently considering.
You give deference to the Pale Queen, accepting the task she gave you, even though she is, by your own admission, a voice in your head, and one which you seem to question quite frequently. Curious.
Why are we listening to you? I mean, no offense, but it does seem a little strange.
She is trying to turn us against one another. Do not succumb to her manipulations. You were sworn to me, Sir Knight. and in spite of your doubt and hesitancy, I still give you my trust. The same cannot be said of her. The princess pauses, nodding her head ever so slightly in acknowledgement.
Flattery. An effective tactic. It might even get Sir Knight to completely overlook the overall dismissive and condescending way you have treated him and his companion up until this point.
She lets her accusation hang in the air. A last-ditch effort to insinuate that I am unworthy of your trust, Sir Knight. But our bond cannot be so easily broken. One childishly thrown barb means nothing. The princess had best try a different ploy. Once again, she nods her head.
Did you have other questions for me, Sir Knight?
Do you know why you were locked up?
Do you?
I was hoping you could tell me.
Her lips move ever so slightly, forming a wry smile.
Amusing to think that my own prison warden wouldn't know the reason for his charge's incarceration. But to answer your question, no, I have no information whatsoever regarding the reasoning behind my confinement here, if there even was a reason. Though I am forming a few hypotheses based on our interactions and conversation. Still, am I really to believe that you yourself do not know why I was imprisoned? Surely the Pale Queen must have provided you with some kind of rationale, however baseless it may have been. Though, given her intensive desire to compartmentalize even the most trivial points of data, I suppose it wouldn't be too surprising if she kept even that piece of information a secret.
What are you going to do if I let you out?
The princess narrows her eye. But fuck!
I am now the narrator of my own story.
Christ.
The princess narrows her eyes.
You dodged my question. I would press you on it, but I think by now we both know why you didn't answer directly. Still, to address your obvious deflection, the honest answer is that I am uncertain. My primary objective and concern at the moment is to secure my freedom. But whatever may lie outside the walls of this dungeon is unknown to me. Will the world be an accommodating place for one such as myself? That seems a vain hope. Far too optimistic given what I know of the nature of existence. So, most likely, I would need to take steps in order to ensure that my freedom is maintained. I might choose to simply hide away, live a quiet and obscure life, isolated from the company of anyone who could threaten my liberty. But if such a lifestyle is not feasible, I might need to contend against those who would seek to put a shackle around my neck once again. I might even have to kill. But I am speaking of hypotheticals. Moreover, I am not addressing the core issue. At its root, your question is asking for the impossible, for me to prove my innocence. Ignoring the fact that this is a perversion of what ought to be a basic tenet of justice, that of the accused being innocent until proven guilty, this is an unreasonable request, as any answer I give can easily be dismissed as a falsehood on my part. So, going forward, I will assert that the burden of proof lies on your end, or perhaps more specifically, on the Pale Queen's end. Let her endeavor to prove my guilt by producing concrete evidence, rather than simply assert that I am deserving of my current situation.
Oh, wow. That was a more comprehensive answer than I expected. So, do you have anything, Queen?
We are not playing her game.
What game? Asking for evidence?
This is not a court case. We cannot afford to waste time on this very obvious diversion. At the risk of revealing too much, I simply say, cut. I will simply say that you already know what's at risk, Sir Knight. Do what needs to be done.
And what, precisely, needs to be done?
I was sent here by the Pale Queen to execute you because you were going to put an end to our entire world. What do you have to say about that?
Stop her. Why in the world did you feel the need to tell her that?
Put an end to our entire world. Could you please clarify what that means?
As in, you could completely destroy the world. Kaboom!
Kaboom.
Kerplow!
Kaboom.
Kersplode!
Kapow.
Kaplowy!
Bang.
Oh my fucking god.
Oh, my stupid husband. What are you doing?
My cringe husband returns.
What are you doing?
Honestly, I have no idea. Though, come to think of it, you really didn't explain how it would work. Is it going to be like a really big explosion if you don't kill her?
Do I honestly need to get into the mechanics of how she would destroy everything we hold dear?
It could help your case. Because, to be frank, I find it very far-fetched that a mere prisoner locked up in a dungeon could cause anything approaching mass destruction.
I noticed scratch marks on the stone wall behind you. Were you trying to escape?
She stiffens.
What an interesting thing to assume. I have no idea what would give you such an idea. After all, who in their right mind would ever want to leave a place as cozy and hospitable as this?
She spreads her hands, gesturing to the cold stone walls.
It's practically paradise. This dungeon, where I've been trapped in the dark, alone.
Okay, I'm not the best when it comes to sarcasm, but even I can spot it on here. You're really laying it on thick.
In my defense, if Sir Knight is so dense as to question whether or not a prisoner unjustly imprisoned would try to escape, I think it'd be reasonable to assume subtlety is not something he'd be good at detecting. Apologies if that was a little rude, but really, if you were going to question me, at least try to ask something intelligent.
Her eyes narrow.
And don't try to deceive me.
You don't seem to trust me.
Golly gee, I wonder why. Could it be the knife you carry? The ever so slightly unfriendly Pale Queen who locked me down here and who you seem to serve? The fact that you have, as of yet, done nothing to help me? Really, is such a mystery as to why I haven't been more open with you.
As snarky as it is, she does have a point.
She brought up one important point. She hasn't been open with you, and she never will be. So stop trying to cozy up to her.
Regardless of how we feel about one another, I think it would do you some good to eat.
You set the tray on the ground and carefully slide it towards the princess. She looks down at the bowl before gently sliding it back towards you.
You first.
Us first? Why does she want us to eat it first? Does does she think we poisoned it?
That could be the reason. Or maybe I just feel like sharing.
Her lips curl into something that's almost a smirk.
I bet you must be feeling hungry, coming all this way. You really ought to eat something.
Are we hungry?
You're not, and even if you were, you could eat later.
There's no need to listen to her. I'm not really feeling hungry, so you can have as much as you want. Better to eat it rather than let it go to waste. So go on. No need to hold back.
Wait, you're really not hungry? Not even a little?
Not even a little.
She gestures towards the bowl.
So go right ahead. Bon appetit.
How are you not hungry? When we met, you said I was the first person you could even remember seeing. So what have you been eating or drinking before now?
I really don't see how this line of questioning has any relevance to our current situation, Sir Knight.
Okay, but what has she been eating and drinking? She looks like she's been down here for a long time. Hell, she said as much herself.
Can we please drop this subject?
No, no, they have a point.
I can't tell if she seems to think this is relevant, or she's just trying to annoy me. But the princess pauses, seeming to actually consider the inane question.
But it isn't inane. Now that I think about it, it's starting to bother me.
She scrunches her eyebrows, a look of genuine concern on her face, before turning to you with a sharp, inquisitorial look.
Sir Knight, and you, his companion, the one who isn't the queen, how much can the two of you remember about events before today?
That's enough. Please, enough questions have been asked. It's time to move on.
Why are you wanting so desperately to shut us up? What are you hiding?
Are you hiding something?
Enough questions.
I disagree. I think now's probably the best time for questions.
Why did you have to go down this road, Sir Knight? But it's too late now. The princess nods her head in approval, a flicker of genuine respect in her eyes.
I agree. With what seems to be the exception of the Pale Queen, we've all been operating on what is not only incomplete, but what would seem to be downright deceptive information. The fact that you and the well-meaning voice have been so hesitant to act when you have, for all intents and purposes, an overwhelming advantage over me and the constant goading of the particularly hostile Pale Queen suggests that you are not immediately a threat to me.
She pauses.
So, let's start over. The three of us clearly want to understand the truth, so let's cooperate by more freely sharing information. I'll start.
She gestures towards the bar.
To address a very valid concern you brought up earlier, no, Sir Knight, I have not been the least bit hungry since I awakened in this dungeon. I have also not eaten or drunk anything for my entire stay here, which, as far as I can tell based on the amount of labor I performed on the stone wall to, yes, escape, has been a not insignificant amount of time. I'm almost embarrassed to admit this, but my lack of hunger and thirst for all this time didn't even occur to me until now. But living things have biological needs. If I am experiencing none of these, then
She trails off for a moment, before leaning forward, an almost desperate earnestness in her voice as she asks her question.
what are your names? Sir Knight seems more like a title, as does the Pale Queen, and I still don't know the name of your companion.
It's Hero.
Hero? Again, that seems less like a name and more like a descriptor.
But it is my name. I mean, sure, it does also describe me, but that doesn't mean it isn't real.
Well, if that is the case, then I suppose that's one thing we don't have in common.
What don't we have in common?
A name. You asked me about mine earlier. I don't have one. At least, not any that I can remember. I doubt I'll get an answer from the Pale Queen, so instead I'll ask you, Sir Knight. Do you have a name?
When I woke up, there were holes in my memory. I barely remember anything about my past, let alone a name.
It took immense self-restraint for me not to make one of the options Gary.
Damn.
She nods
Shut up.
her head, as if a suspicion has been confirmed. What is happening right now?
I think we're trying to figure out what's going on.
I've already told you what's going on. Why don't you trust me?
She seems upset. That's usually a good sign. Let's keep going. Sir Knight, you mentioned waking up with holes in your memory. Care to share exactly what you remember up until this point?
Don't answer that.
Recount everything you remember that happened to you up to this point.
You rambled for quite a while, diverging every single detail to the princess. Despite the length of your narration, the princess does not lose patience or express even a hint of boredom, instead nodding along and only interrupting occasionally to politely ask clarifying questions.
And you were unable to find any clues about your past? No records whatsoever?
It's pretty much just been what the Queen has said, but I don't know how reliable she is as a source anymore.
Actually, there is one thing. Oh no.
Jamin,
Oh, sorry. Sorry. But you ignore the Pale Queen's protestations and reach into your pocket before removing the picture and unfolding it so that the princess can see. She stares at it, eyes widening. For the first time in a while, she seems at a loss for word.
May I take a closer look, please?
Give her the picture.
You crumple the paper into a ball and toss it to her. She catches it before carefully unfolding it and smoothing out the crinkled edges. The two of you sit in silence as she stares. Picture finger tracing the crayon marks. Eventually, she looks up.
May I keep this? At least for a little bit?
You'll give it back when you're done, right?
Of course. I would never dream of keeping something that didn't belong to me.
Yes, you can hold on to it.
Thank you. Please, continue your story. I apologize for interrupting.
Finish your story.
Eventually, you finish the end of your story, or rather, the current point of your still unfolding story. What comes next, I do not know, but you will have to face the consequences of sharing this information.
Fascinating. Very fascinating. I think I've had this wrong from the start.
Ooh, we're forming theories now, are we?
She smiles softly.
Scientifically speaking, what I'm forming is more of a hypothesis. I would need to put my hypothesis under rigorous testing, not to mention multiple layers of peer review in order for it to approach a theory. But yes, in the common colloquial sense, I am indeed forming some theories.
and what will those be?
Let's begin by laying out the facts at hand. First, Sir Knight, Hero, and myself came to awareness with no recollection of our past. Second, Sir Knight and myself have no recollection of our respective names. Third, upon being awakened, Sir Knight was immediately issued directives by the Pale Queen, who, much like Hero, manifests as a voice in his head rather than a person with a physical body. Fourth, the aforementioned Pale Queen commanded Sir Knight to execute me, while giving very limited explanation as to why this was needed, claiming that I would put an end to our entire world. Kaboom.
Okay, for the record, I did not say kaboom.
Kaboom!
Ugh.
Oh, and she also claimed that I was her daughter.
She pauses for a moment, considering the last point before resuming her rambling monologue.
Fifth, when questioned as to why Sir Knight specifically needed to kill me, the Pale Queen claimed that Sir Knight was the only one capable of performing the task. Sixth, of note is the fact that, in spite of the Pale Queen's wish to protect the people of her kingdom, neither Sir Knight nor myself have met anyone with physical bodies aside from one another. Seventh, during my stay in this dungeon, I have had sufficient time to scrape away a significant portion of the stone around the anchor point of my chains, and yet in spite of this lengthy process, I've never once felt tired or hungry. Eighth, upon meeting one another, I was able to hear the voices that were presumably in Sir Knight's head. Ninth, in regard to said voices, while Hero appears to question each decision, specifically against taking violent actions, the Pale Queen seems to encourage Sir Knight's aggression, while also discouraging any critical analysis on his part. This is done while, strangely, describing everything Sir Knight and myself do, almost as if she is compelled to perform this action, like it's one of her primary functions.
Is that accurate? Is describing what we do one of your primary functions?
You are talking about me like I'm a machine. I'm not.
Okay, but it is weird that you describe things all the time. You have eyes, you know.
Strange or not, it is my duty and I will perform it, even if you have decided to abandon yours.
10th, the Pale Queen claims that Sir Knight agreed to perform his task. However, given his lack of memory, I find myself questioning this claim.
She pauses, folding her arms.
In fact, I find myself questioning everything about this scenario.
He snaps back to attention, fixing you with a firm and resolute expression.
You're beginning to see it too, are you not?
I think I am. Everything is just so weird. Almost like nothing is real. I'm not quite sure if I'm on the same page. What are you getting at? Oh my god, this is all fake! We're all just puppets on the stage being puppeteered by an invisible puppet master! Nope. I have no idea what you're talking about. Everything seems completely fine and completely normal to me. Remain silent.
You sit in silence, but your body betrays your nervousness. Your fingers trembling, your feathers puffing up, and your breathing growing more and more rapid.
It's sure a lot to take in. I wasn't thinking about it before, but now that she pointed everything out, just so weird. What if, what if all of this isn't real?
Oh, my poor knight. The princess, having successfully gotten you to question everything about your situation to the point where your once trusted voice now speaks absolute insanity, reaches out her hand to you.
Sir Knight, Hero, I believe the three of us could form a mutually beneficial coalition. There is clearly something going on here, something much bigger than us. I'm determined to find out what that something is, and I think the two of you want to find out as well.
If everything you two of you brought up, I think I would like nothing more than some answers, if we can find them.
We can. I am almost certain of it. So, if you will please undo the restraint around my neck.
You've got to snap out of this. She is clearly just manipulating from a different, more sinister angle. Do not fall for it.
How do I know you won't just stab me in the back the second I help you out?
If there's going to be any backstabbing, it would be done by the person who's been carrying the knife. But, as a token of my sincerity,
She reaches towards the torch on the wall and it easily comes loose.
She unscrewed it before we got here. She could use it against us if we got any closer. That sneaky little.
It's a good thing we've decided to trust each other then, isn't it? I won't ask you to give up your weapon. I think it would be prudent for the two of us to remain armed. But I also won't try to deceive you. From here on out, I will share what information I obtain, provided, of course, that you agree to release me.
How would I get you out of those chains?
She fingers the collar around her neck.
A number of solutions come to mind. We could find a rock or similar blunt instrument to bash the chains apart. We could pick the lock of my collar with your knife. We could even continue to scrape away at the stone around the anchor point. But all of those options take time, and I would prefer to be out of here sooner rather than later, so let's try something a little more straightforward. This collar has a keyhole. That means there must be a key. And you, Sir Knight, mentioned using a key during your very detailed summary of events. Mind tossing it over?
This is your last chance, Sarah. Do not give her that key.
Okay, here you go.
You toss her the key. She deftly catches it in one hand before inserting it into the keyhole of her collar and twisting. The shackle comes loose and the chains follow, metallic links slithering onto the ground in one fluid motion. The princess cracks her neck before cautiously approaching you, torch gripped in one hand.
Thank you. Now let's go.
Leave the dungeon.
So it has come to this. You have chosen to ignore my commands and jeopardize our entire kingdom. You are violating your oaths, Sir, but I will hold you to them. As the princess approaches the stairs leading out to the dungeon, you raise your knife, preparing to stab her in the back. She immediately turns around, torch raised.
Really? A betrayal? Now of all times?
We are not trying to betray you. I don't know what's happening, but somehow the Pearl Queen is making us do this.
Warn her.
Instead of acting, you just stand there frozen. Stop this. Stop this right now. Can't you see that I'm trying to help you?
Resist.
But you won't listen to me, will you? The princess narrows her eyes.
You were lying. She's actually controlling you. Fascinating.
Fascinating.
Right. Sorry. But even still. No, sorry, I'm doing it again. I need to focus.
She shakes her head before locking eyes with you and immediately kicking you in the stomach.
What?
Your rigid body topples like a statue. Before you can react, the princess wrestles the knife from your stiff fingers before shoving you into the far wall of the dungeon. Unwilling to put up any real struggle, you allow the princess to wrap her own chains around your wrists, binding them behind your back before locking the shackle around your neck, securing you in place to the far wall of the dungeon.
What is she doing?
I suspect she's betraying you. Exactly like how I warned you she would. Her work done, the princess calmly backs away.
Contrary to what our bleached monarch would have you believe, this is not a betrayal. I simply cannot have you hanging around as a liability. So sit tight, Sir Knight and Hero. I'll see if I can find a way to break her control.
And then, before you can stop her, she turns her back to you and exits the dungeon. She didn't kill you. Why didn't she kill you?
Wait, Don't believe us.
Her voice, though more distant, still manages to reach you.
I'm not leaving you. It's like I said, I'm going to find a way to free you. I just need to explore a little. Let's see now. There's a bottle of poison on the table here, a gateway leading outside.
You hear the sound of a portcullis slam shut. You won't be leaving so easily, Princess. I will see to it.
Oh, so now you're talking to me. Delightful. Well, while you're in a talkative mood, would you mind explaining what's upstairs? That's all the confirmation I need. So let's see now. This key appears to be multi-purpose. I wonder if it will unlock anything up there.
She's heading upstairs.
What happens if she gets upstairs?
Something bad. Something very bad. I can't let it happen, not now.
And why would that be? Don't feel pressured to answer. I'll figure it out on my own in just a moment.
No. This wasn't supposed to happen. I didn't account for this possibility.
I'm trapped.
I can see that. More importantly, you lost your blade and the key.
Princess, can you hear me? What do you see?
I can hear you, Hero, and the Pale Queen. I'm heading up the tower stairs. There should be a room up above. I'll tell you what I find.
You can't go up there.
And yet I continue to make progress.
Why are you so scared of her going upstairs? What's in the tower?
Things should have never gotten to this point.
Look, there's nothing any of us can do. It's over. Might as well just accept it.
No, there is one last thing to do. One final request. Forgive me, my dear knight. I have no other choice.
Wait, what are you?
Unexpectedly, your heart stopped.
What?
You collapse, your chains burn taut as your body falls to the ground.
His heart stops. No, that didn't just happen. You made it happen. You're killing him? But why? What could possibly be the point of...
But the princess's voice fades as your consciousness dims.
No. No.
I am sorry, dear knight. I made it as quick as I could. Hopefully, this will not have been a waste, and you will have learned from your mistake. I will be waiting for you when you return.
Everything goes dark, and you die.
Kaboom!
Bada bing, bada boom.
Kerplowy.
It was very abrupt. Suddenly, you're dead.
I have to say,
That was so amazing!
That was quite funny.
Good job on highlighting the text, by the way.
Thank you.
good job on you for reading
God.
and all of that so well. You did a great job.
Yeah, trombone is good.
Somehow.
And same for you.
Yeah.
All did good.
My power's still not
Trombone
back on.
had a power.
I now regret not making an achievement for Kaboom.
Yeah,
I suppose I could add one.
yeah. Never too late.
Oh, I
You know, voicing hero is somehow harder than the Smithson.
You know what? When you make the game, you can make a path where you can free the princess, and when you leave, everything just explodes.
There's just a comical nuclear explosion.